Spencer, where do you want to start today?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short, much opposed to last week. I'm done trying to pretend like I know what's gonna happen every week. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't think I have to explain anymore. It's just like, oh, I think like I had the Bills tied to every single parlay that I made. I was like, oh, I'll just get an extra couple dollars because of course they're not gonna lose. And it's like, all right, but I don't want to be that negative. I just want to enjoy this season, but I'm done trying to pretend like I know what's gonna happen. And I'm just gonna watch the games, enjoy what happens, and be excited about whatever is to come. And just enjoy
Well,
some teams that are like really good that, might not have been good for a while. And it's like, okay, maybe the Bills honestly missed their window and the Patriots did it correctly. They had two back-to-back 13 loss seasons, and now they're 8-2, right? They haven't had their bye
they're eight
week.
and two.
They're 8-2. It's like, why don't I just enjoy the fact that Drake May is having one of the best third year seasons or second year
Yeah,
seasons,
second year.
in quite some time. So I'm just gonna sit back and for the rest of the season, I'm just gonna watch football.
Well, let's see if that's the case because the key to doing that is not gambling, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well,
And this
I emptied
this
I I emptied my FanDuel account last night. I
this
withdrew my
this
last
podcast
couple of bucks.
is not sponsored by FanDuel because we have definitely a degenerate on one side, but I'm trying to be the voice of reason. And I
Mhm.
think I'm the only person that didn't lose in gambling yesterday because
It
I
was
didn't
it was
gamble.
it was it was really bad. I feel like
Yeah.
every single person that bet lost money yesterday.
But I feel like ever since the gambling epidemic took over, we've been so much more like,
I want I want to
yeah,
I want to I
the
want to hold
Bills.
I want to hold this conversation because I want to talk about it later in the
Okay,
NBA
okay.
section.
But my point is that like it's fun to watch bad teams lose, like
Yeah.
or good teams lose to bad teams. And it happens all the time. Like what's the big deal?
Yeah. No,
I don't
I'm
want to overreact about the Bills first off. I mean, I think they have some major issues, but like the Eagles lost to the Giants. The Patriots
mhm.
lost to the Raiders. Like weird results happen. This was a divisional game on the road. Not a good spot coming off the high of a big win last week. Just people freak out too much and people freak out I think as they lose their parlays. So let's take a chill pill with the Bills. They're going to be in the playoffs, but we'll discuss that later.
I needed that. Thank you. Once they went down like 13 nothing or 10 nothing, I was like, I hope they lose by 40. I hope it's another 70 to 20 game and it's just the end of the Bills as we know it. But
Yeah. No,
I've
make
evolved
no
since
mistake. Make no mistake.
I've evolved since last night and I feel much
They
better
were
about it.
horrible. They were horrible.
They were bad.
Just no one can like get open on that team. Their receivers are just feeling like really not up to the standard that they need to be. And like they don't even have anything resembling a number one receiver, if you ask me. And it's just one of those games like Allen threw that pick in the end zone when they were down 16 nothing. Allen threw the pick in the end zone and it was just like, yeah, this isn't happening.
Yeah.
Um, because we're gonna be joined by Joey later and we're doing Coach Aura rankings. I just want to give a quick coach shout out of like a weird little quirk because we talk about him plenty, but DJ Mike McDaniels, something I love that he does, and I actually genuinely like this. When the half ends, he's just like sprinting to the locker room. He's not jogging. He's not like, hey guys, let's go. He's just like, and he's just gone. I think it's so funny. So
Yeah. And then he
he's no
always
good
gives
for
like
him.
a minute long interview.
Yeah, he's always got some weird philosophical thing to throw in there. But yeah,
I had some point about the Bills. I just completely lost it. Oh, it was about wide receivers. You brought that up. Some quarterbacks I feel like don't make the wide receivers they have better. And I think some quarterbacks are really, really good, but need really, really good wide receivers anyway. Like, perfect example, Patrick Mahomes can take anybody off the street. and probably make them
Yeah.
into a semi-decent wide receiver. Josh Allen, I think, can in some respects, but I still think he needs that like elite guy because the part of Josh Allen that makes him, you know, Josh Allen is his athletic ability, his ability to run, get out of the pocket, and his incredible arm. But that doesn't matter if your cornerback, your wide receivers are getting locked up 1v1
Yeah.
and you have a spy, someone spying on you, and you can't use your running, and you can't throw the ball downfield because your wide receivers aren't open.
I just feel like ever since the days of prime Buffalo Diggs, it's not been the same.
Even
Like
even Mac Hollins.
2022 era. Yeah, but like Diggs was like the last time that Josh had a star wide receiver.
Yes.
And obviously he's, kind of lost what he's had because it's the NFL, he's old. But ever since then, it's just like Shakir and Coleman, come on. Like don't give me that as Josh Allen's number one and number two receivers. And he loves his tight ends, he loves his white boys, but that can only take you so far unless you have Kelsey or Gronk. And I think Kincaid, was it Kincaid or Knox? Kincaid,
Kincaid got
um,
injured.
hurt his hamstring. And I texted my brother this the other day. I said, if someone put a gun to your head and told you to differentiate Kincaid and Knox, you'd be dead. Like I wouldn't even know which one is which number.
It's like when someone if someone put a gun to my head and told me to spell restaurant, I'd be like, pull the trigger. There's no way. Um, um, the last thing, actually, no, I'm not even gonna say that. We can move on. I have
Yeah,
nothing else to say about Bills.
I'm sure we'll talk more
It's
about the
it's a
Bills.
tough it's a tough loss. They'll be fine. I did text you Bills not to make the playoffs, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars blew because they were up 19 when I texted you
Yeah.
that, and I was like, wait a second, if they're 6-3, like I get they're not good. They start pulling out these bullshit wins. They keep doing that. Like it gets very very crowded very very quickly, and then they promptly lost that game, and I was like, okay, well if they're not going to get in, or if they're not even going to fight to get in, then the Bills have a spot.
Nah, man, the Jaguars suck cheeks.
Yeah.
They're just
Is
they're just
there
awful.
Is there a game you would like to go to next? We can rapid fire because we
Um,
do have quite a bit to talk about.
yeah, just quick, Patriots, honestly, because like
Yeah.
we got to talk about them. Damn, they were good, man. They were good again, and they actually ran the football pretty well. Travion Henderson finally had that game everyone was looking for, and yeah, he had that. I mean, he had 150 yards almost. Last touchdown at the end was a big chunk of that, but still, he had some great runs. And I was just impressed by them across the board. And defense was pretty solid. Baker obviously had a decent game, but obviously we knew they were going to throw the ball, so they still held them in check for most of the game. Drake May, I guess he's the MVP favorite right now, which is kind of crazy.
Um, I want to come back to that in 1 second. The Patriots rush defense is truly magnificent. Like
Yeah. Where did that
I
come
th
from?
I don't know. I've always known about, or I've always heard about. I don't scout the Patriots or anything, so I haven't always known this, but I've heard that they're like linebacker safety s thing, so they're always good at like short throws and defending the pass. But then for some reason, this I think this is one of the first games or second game that they've let up 50 rush yards to a single player or something like that. Um,
Wow. Yeah,
and
right.
for the first like 7 games they didn't, but the guy had 53, which his longest was 18. I'm looking at the stats right now. Without that, take away 18 yards from there, and he's less than
Yeah.
30, less than 40
And just
yards.
and just eye test wise, the Bucks were not
Yeah,
running the ball effectively at
no,
all.
like Baker threw the ball 43 times, which is on that team I think is fine. They're made to throw the ball, but you got to have a little bit more parity, I think.
I just
But no, please, please,
No, I just get a good vibe from the Pats, like in terms of how
yeah.
they play. I'm not saying that they're far from being one of the most talented teams in the league, if you ask me. Like if you just look at their skill position guys, the guys on their defense, like they're nothing compared to Detroit's offense or like Houston's defense. But I just, I don't know. Coach of the year to me is so clearly Vrabel, and I think that guy just like knows how to run a football team. He's done it for years with a Ryan Tannehill led Titans team, and yeah, I mean, I just think that Drizzy Drake May, despite his lack of aura, might be really good, and he just knows how to make good throws. He had a pretty awful play in the end zone, but like whatever, it happens. For the most of the game, he was quite good, and he's been just really good, really consistent all year.
Mhm.
So
As your
yeah,
uncle would say, he plays the game the right way.
plays the game the right way. Yeah, that guy Drake May, he's got a good head on his shoulders, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I really MVP is kind of pushing it. I get the narratives around it, and it is what it is. There's no fighting it, but that defense, I don't know where he would be without that defense. Is what I want to
Fair
say.
enough.
Like and that's not to take anything away from the Patriots or Drake May. He's been fantastic. They're 8-2. I would kill for my team to be 8-2 right now, is what I would say. But you mentioned like they're not the Lions offense, they're not the Houston defense, but they're the best of both worlds. Like they have a
Yeah.
top 10. Would you say top 10 offense?
Um,
Top
yeah,
12?
top 12 probably.
If we went through it, I think I could find maybe nine better teams at least, nine better
Yeah.
offenses, but defense wise,
They're top 10. They're
arguably top
easily top
five,
10 defense.
easily top. So, when you start putting those metrics together, it's like, all right, top 10 offense, maybe top 10 defense. How many teams have both top 10? Um, and that's why, like, you can't do the Cincinnati Bengals and spend $140 million on three
Yep.
players on your offense.
It's all about
Um,
balance. It really is.
it
Yeah.
really is. I think Jonathan Taylor should win MVP. Did you watch that
I
game?
could not agree with you more. I don't, I mean, we know he's not going to, and I would say this is probably the best, um, like shortest odds a non-quarterback's had in quite some
Like
time.
plus 500, correct?
Hmm.
Something like that.
Last I heard, yeah. But I just, he is the most valuable player in the league. Like, no quarterback has been consistent enough to win, I think, this year. And Taylor had 244 yards on the ground yesterday.
It,
Like,
it,
kidding
it
me?
it's hard to argue when you look at his stats and you're like, oh, 32 for 244. What a great quarterback play. Like
Yeah.
32 completions for 244 yards. That's not bad at
Right.
all. And then you're
Yeah.
like, wait a second,
In
32
three
rushes.
touchdowns. I know.
Three times.
And
He did
he
he,
had,
he did fumble, but he didn't lose that fumble. I was just,
yeah.
I was just making a
Yeah.
joke.
And Colts fumbled like 50 times yesterday and somehow recovered it each time.
Yeah,
Um,
Daniel Jones had three fumbles and only lost one. Yeah.
Taylor had a run yesterday, a touchdown, where it was just like one of those where I saw him run into the pile, look down at my phone to answer a text and look up, and he's just like flying down the sideline. I was like, what? This is just crazy. All right,
Oh,
we're joined
what
by
a great
Joey.
surprise.
Hello,
Joey,
hello.
Good morning.
How's it going, boys?
we're
Fantastic. We
doing
were just
good.
talking about the Colts and Jonathan Taylor should win MVP.
I think he's the favorite right now. I know he's not actually the favorite, but I think he's the most clear-cut pick right now. I don't believe in Drake May, unfortunately.
We just had our
Yeah,
Patriots conversation,
yeah,
so you'll have to
we
listen to
can't
the
talk more
pod to
about
figure
them.
out what we talked about.
I will.
Um, and then obviously the third person is Stafford, but we can talk about the Rams later. I just wanted to give my
Do you want
lefty quarter. Spencer, what was your lefty quarterback theory again? Oh, they're down the
um
road.
that I also just think I don't believe in left-handed quarterbacks. I just think I can't explain it, but I feel like just the way that the NFL is played and how plays are drawn up and how defenses are taught to defend, I think it just changes. Obviously, it does change everything. I don't really have a theory about it. It's just when have you seen a good lefty quarterback? Is
Yeah,
all I want to say. Like how
my
many lefty
take
quarterbacks have been good? I don't know.
my take is that
Mike Vick.
Michael, here's where I'm going. My take is
Okay.
that Michael Vick, um, through the left-handed gods, stole all of the left-handed arm strength for quarterbacks because these lefty quarterbacks throw these
Just
like
cannot.
these like Penis Jr., Tua, and Dill Gabe.
Yeah,
And
I'm pretty sure all the left-handed quarterbacks are right-handed. Like,
All the
But
left-handed quarterbacks were trying to play baseball, and then when they realized they couldn't make it, they were like, "Oh, I guess I can throw a little bit,"
Yeah.
and that's why they like lob it because they're trying to throw like a base. I don't
but
know, not actually, but
but Dylan Gabriel, who I just find hilarious, like that he's like we're gonna be like, who's that guy? He had this touchdown in the Jets game where he just threw this like that like took like 15 minutes to make it into Jerry Judy's hands, and somehow it's a touchdown. And the announcer's like, "What a great pass by Dylan Gabriel!" And I was like, "Oh, it wasn't." So yeah, I'm not a fan of the lefties. I'm not a fan of Penis Jr. And
yeah,
yeah, I don't think the Falcons are going anywhere with that guy.
no. I don't really think we should need to talk about this game much. I didn't watch it because of I forgot that it was on. How many international games have there been? There's been a lot. And
Yeah,
I
this
and I do like what they're doing though. They're having some in Berlin, Madrid, like in terms of growing the game, I really think it's very, very good, and it allows people in Europe to attend the game. And I know my cousins, they really
bro.
care. They like the NFL. You can disagree with this. I would love to hear it, but I know it's just a money grab and everything, but I do like what they're trying to do.
I just don't think they know what the hell's happening. Like you're telling me that
I
these
no,
European
I
fans.
agree that they don't know what's happening. I know my cousins, they like enjoy just like the idea of watching the game. They don't know what's happening. They just like
All right,
the
fair enough.
idea of it. Um, no, I just think the Colts are like with Jonathan Taylor back there and Daniel Jones being a competent QB, probably because Jonathan Taylor draws so much attention. I really like this Colts offense. Like I know it's easy to say that about a team that's 8-2, but like, did you watch like the last drive? It was 4th and 2 in overtime. They would or right before overtime they would have lost the game, and Tyler Warren made this catch, and he just doesn't drop the ball,
Yeah, he's
and
good, man.
it's it like that's all they did. That's all they changed from last year was adding obviously Daniel Jones and Tyler Warren, and they went from one of the worst offenses to one of the best, and I think it was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Joey, any teams you want to talk about? We've already discussed the Patriots game, the Bills game, and then this Colts game.
Yeah. I think that Shane Steichen should be the coach of the year, personally.
Wow.
I know. Like, I think he was like insane when he was with the Eagles, and that like I was definitely people talk about how big of a loss Kellen Moore was, but like around Philly at least, people were way more upset about like Steichen leaving at the time, I remember. And like for good reason. I think he's doing really well right now. But overall, in terms of all the games this week, I think the Steelers had another primetime showing of who they are for real. That's not a very serious team. I think like everyone in like the media is trying to like cling on to this idea that like the AFC and like the Steelers in their division can still like it's like this super competitive like slugfest. But no, I mean you gotta call it what it is, and they suck now. Like that division's not fun. Whoever wins the division is going to lose the first game of the playoffs, and I'm just not really paying any mind to the Steelers at all anymore. Is what that
Yeah.
that game showed me. And I really think that game was more about the Steelers than it was the Chargers. And Rodgers just looked like how you'd expect Aaron Rodgers wearing number 8 for the Pittsburgh Steelers at 40 years old to play. It was just not a great showing, and yeah.
There's just nothing like less fun this year than watching the Steelers. Like I'm trying to think of another like team to compare to either an older football team or another sport, but just like it's just so like sickening to watch. And then like you'll get like one nice Metcalf play and you're like, oh okay, like there's something, but
You
no,
know
it's
who the
just so
Steelers could use right now? They could
Big
use
Ben.
George Pickens.
Oh yeah, George Pickens.
That's absolutely correct. I agree.
Yeah.
Um, I watched this game, and I liked what the Chargers did and how they looked. I really did. I know that they don't have Joe Alt, but I think it's more of a it says more about the Steelers. I agree with you guys in how it's not really like it doesn't tell me more about the Chargers. Rather, it says like the Steelers really are not gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, and the
And
Chargers
that,
are just like unnecessarily shaking up the playoff picture at 7-3 now.
yeah.
And they have no offensive line. Like they're not a serious team if you ask me, but they've won a lot of games, which, credit where credit's due, but nonetheless.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Toby, you have
okay.
any other games?
Well, I'm just gonna do my little Giants rant.
Please.
Um, Not that I care. I honestly am rooting for them to lose at this point. I'm fine. I don't care that they lost this game, but I was texting you guys. Dart is special, and like it makes me very happy to see this guy running around, making great throws, like playing exceptionally well for a rookie. I think we can all say that. And then this fucking dumbass Dayball is like has 25 designed quarterback runs for him, never tells him to slide, and he finally got a concussion. And it's just his malpractice, you know? This is a guy who needs to save his job. So he's putting his 22-year-old stud quarterback on the line, letting him get pancaked just to like beat the damn Bears. And I don't know, I'm just sick of it. And I think he's got to get fired, but he's not going to because we just don't do that, I guess.
Yeah, I
Joey?
mean, it's just been like a season long. There's been various examples of why he's not good at his job, Dable, and it's like, I mean, obviously, as like an Eagles fan, I'm sure Spencer, you can agree. As a Cowboys fan, you want to just be like, oh yeah, like how I feel about Jerry Jones, like keep him in power forever.
Yeah, I was gonna
Um,
say I love Brian Dable.
yeah, but it's like I like as a sports fan, I hate the guy because like all the stuff like Scatabo at the beginning of the year, like oh it's cool, he lowers his head and plays like a maniac, but it's like no, dude, you hit like the jackpot in the draft this year with getting these two guys, and like Toby said, you're just like ruining these young guys' career and just like running them in the ground to beat like what? It's not even good for your team to win games right now. Like
Yeah.
it's like frustrating. It pisses me off. And like the whole like blue tent thing. Like I know it was like kind of marketed as like a joke. Like they're like, oh, Dable wants his guys out there, but that's fucked up, man. It's the NFL, and like these guys can fucking die from this shit and like have serious long term like health problems because of like medical malpractice. And that all starts with the coach, man. Like if your
Yeah,
coach
man.
is interfering with like your medical duties, and like that's just a problem. He's 100% has to go. 100%.
Yeah, and it's just like you don't see Patrick Mahomes just like running headfirst into some guy and taking hits because he is the best player in the league. And I'm
Mm.
not saying Jackson Dart's Patrick Mahomes, of course not. But just in terms of like what he means to the franchise, like he can't be taking those hits, and it starts with the coach. Imagine if one of us, because Jackson Dart's our age, he's 22, one of us goes out there, we're on a rookie contract, and the coach is like, you have to do this. You do it. Like you do it. And it's just, I don't know, like it's just like exploitative and honestly just like kind of evil. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
icky,
fuck
man. It's
people.
icky.
It's
Like
icky.
you brought up Patrick Mahomes. He wouldn't go do that. They tried to tush push like 4 years ago. He hurt his ankle, and Andy Reid has not called it once since. That was
He's
done.
not called a quarterback
They-
sneak
They're
once.
not
No.
once. And if they had to quarterback sneak, I feel like they'd bring in the backup. Like as soon as Jackson Dart hit his head once, and Brandon Dable realized like, oh, this man can't slide or doesn't want to slide. Like you gotta either get him in a room and be like, look, you're gonna get concussed every week if you don't like stop this. We're gonna teach you how to not do this. We're gonna lay off doing it for a little bit. And he was like, nah. In going into the blue medical tent, being like, get out there. Like, you can't do that. Can't do that.
Anyway,
Do you have anything?
have you seen the Ben Johnson post-game speeches? They're so
No.
funny. You got to look it up. He's like, because they're winning all these like lucky games in like against bad teams in the fourth quarter, and then he'll be like in the locker room, he'll be like, "We had them right where we wanted. We knew we had that game," and it's just so strange.
Um, do you have any other games to talk about? I was looking at the 4 p.m. game, like Eastern time slot. I don't think there's any of those that I really want to talk about. I think they were all very, very straightforward.
Basically,
Um,
if you took the favorites and the over, you would be doing great.
so I was down pretty badly going into the 4 p.m. games. And so I had a couple bucks left in my account. And so I was like, there's no way the Lions, well, after the Bills game, I was like, I have no idea what's happening. I was like, there's no way all three, the Lions, Seahawks, and Rams lose these games. So I parlayed them together. And I wish I had thrown all the money I've ever had because it was 28 nothing in the Seahawks game. It was 17 nothing in the Lions game, and it was 21 to 7 in the Rams game. And I was like, it was too easy. Like they
Yeah.
had to give it, they had to throw the NFL had to throw us a bone after the Bills game.
Yeah, the Seahawks scored 44 points and Darnold threw 12 passes. So,
Um, Demarcus Lawrence, former Cowboy, would love him back on their team right now. Has two touchdowns. Had two touchdowns yesterday. Justin Jefferson has two touchdowns on the year.
it's good. Good stat.
But yeah, they're very good. I think we have to have a Seahawks discussion in the near future. I don't think we had one last week. I think a little bit. We had a Sam Donald discussion.
They're
Um,
tough.
Well,
They're
they're
tough.
good. You,
yeah, they
Joey,
are.
do you have anything to say about them? You weren't here last week.
Just like from a fear perspective, as an Eagles fan, I like respect them now. I think they're better than the Buccaneers, and I've been afraid of the Buccaneers as like the Eagles' biggest kryptonite for a while. But I don't know, the Seahawks just look like a team, like a team. There you go. Like they just are firing on all cylinders right now. Their roster has a lot of guys who like I thought would be good that are actually finally playing really well. And I don't know, it just they're good vibes, good fan base. And sports are good in Seattle. You know, people rally behind it, and I'm happy. I'm happy for them. Happy for the
Are
Seahawks.
are you more afraid of Seattle or the Rams for the Eagles?
Ooh, that's a good
Um,
question.
I would say probably Seattle right now for us, honestly. I feel like the Eagles, honestly, like dating back to like our Super Bowl run, have just and like McVay's tenure, we've just like kind of had the Rams number. And like, granted, this year we had to block two field goals to win that game. Um, but I don't know, that was a disaster in the first half, and then we really dominated them in the second half of the game. So overall, especially like with their roster as they progress through the season, like Stafford kind of limps into the playoffs a lot. So I don't know. Overall, I'm fearing the Seahawks more. They just seem like they have more the algorithm on their side.
Mm, we know a thing or two about that.
Yes, we do.
I I will say let's wait till next week because the
Yeah.
Seahawks are playing the Rams.